Okay, and I'm back. This is part two of chapter two, B minus C. And part one was getting a little too long, and I wanted to truncate it. Now, on part two, we left off in the value creation tactics. So, options to improve benefits. So, how can we make our products more attractive to our consumers? How can we make our products or services have a better benefit? Well, one thing, one potential option is to enhance the characteristics of the product, and specifically the physical characteristics. So, in that way, we want to make something that is, if it was a cell phone for a while, or a computer, or a calculator, um, the size of it mattered a great deal. If we could make it smaller, more portable, more lighter, that was a big physical characteristic of those products that would be a better benefit. So, I mean, you don't want a phone, of course, there's a limit. You don't want a computer or a phone that's too small. I find that, the netbooks was sort of a physical characteristic where they took a full size laptop and they shrunk it down to what's called a netbook. And they put, not only did they make it more lighter and portable, which I personally like to move to take to classrooms for my PowerPoints and things like that. It's about the weight of an average book. They also reduced the cost of the components inside of it using a lower processor and less RAM. So they made it functional. You wouldn't be able to play advanced video games on it, but just functional enough to run Windows 7 and Microsoft and things like Excel and Word and things like that. But the physical characteristics of products, are critical. Even just the aesthetic shape of products, when you're looking at, you know, anything from dish detergent to Tropicana did a repackaging of they still have the classic cardboard cartons, but now they're moving into um, a more elegant shape of the bottles. Let's see if I can get a picture of that. Hold on just a second. Okay, so here is the new Tropicana look. The world's best juice never looked better. So this is a new plastic bottle with a twist top, and this is supposed to be a physicality of the product that's supposed to make it more attractive because the cartons, although they did put the innovation of the twist top at the top of the carton, it's there are definitely some limitations to it, and one of it is the appearance is just plain box type of appearance. Here they have a more contoured shape. You could actually see the juice inside of it, where in the carton you can't. So they're hoping that this will. They claim here that we made it easier to find your favorite flavor by increasing the size of the flavor designator on the label. No, no pulp. So they repackaged and redesigned it to make it more visible in the supermarket. Make it different from all the other boxed orange juices. Trying to make it's a premium type of product. Okay. So in any case, anytime you change the physical nature of the product to make it either more easier to handle, smaller, um, that can improve the benefits of the product, especially for physical products. Uh, Even TV sets, if you look at the new TV sets, even when the HDs started coming out, they were considerably thicker and bigger TV sets. And now I've seen one the other day. It's so amazingly thin. All right, so let's take a look at here's a TV set that is amazingly thin. There's a golf ball in relationship to the size of the TV set. That and this is that's the TV set right there, Samsung. Just amazingly thin, and that when it comes to, it's also lighter. So when it comes to mounting the TV or just the space it utilizes in the living room, incredible enhancement to the physical characteristics of TVs over the last 10 years. Now, another value creation tactic is bundling complementary services together where, you know, um, for example, if you look at textbooks, you may have purchased textbooks in the past that bundled the textbook with software or with an access card to a game manager or even a simulation. So other bundling. Let's see if I could think of get some pictures of some bundled products. Okay, that's one of the advantages of doing these online lectures is I can pause them, go to the internet, find some things rather than just waste your time as I'm looking stuff up. Something I can't easily do in the classroom. So as these online lectures are it's sort of a unique experience for me. I've never quite recorded these lectures like this before. There are definitely drawbacks. One being I can't get instant feedback from you guys. The other one being is, uh, limited to the physicalities of, you're not particularly seeing me talk. You're just seeing these PowerPoints. But anyway, regards that, let's look at some bundled complementary products and services. Over here, the classic bundling of shampoo and conditioner, where you've seen these in stores where they tie the shampoo and conditioner together, or maybe they create a holiday gift pack of, you might see Right Guard bundle their products, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, deodorant, things like that nature. But shampoo and conditioner, typical bundling strategy. Also, AT&T now has bundling packages. You can get home, phone, internet, and TV bundled, home phone, internet, and wireless service bundled. So they're trying to bundle their services. Insurance companies get your home, life, auto insurance bundled together, save money on the package. Also, travel has bundling deals. Here's our big deal bundle. You can get airfare, hotel, rent a car bundled together for one package. Not necessarily. Uh, let's see. This is just Priceline here, but you get the picture where if I can bundle the services together and create a value for the customers. Remember, it's all about creating value. So you see, hey, shampoo $10, conditioner $10. Ooh, bundled conditioner and shampoo package $18.99. You're saying, hey, that's a value. I'm saving money. And for the shampoo companies, they typically sell 3 times the amount of shampoo compared to conditioner, in some cases 4 or 5 times. So if they can get you to buy the conditioner and they're still making a profit, and you're going to buy the conditioner moving forward, it's a win for them, definitely. So bundling services is a hugely successful tactic. In some cases, products are bundled, very traditional products are bundled with new products to try to get you to try new things, new flavors, new designs. So bundling is a very great way to create value or enhance the recognition. Okay, enhance the sale or delivery of goods and reduce the buyer purchasing costs. So if we look at Dell, was one of the first companies to give us a new way of buying computers. So, you could configure your computer online. In the past, you used to just buy it off the shelf, and whatever it came with, it came with. So the Dell advantage is, they came up with a way that you configure your computer online. They manufacture it extremely quickly and deliver it to your house at a price lower than you could get in the store. So here you're getting a specific tailor-made custom product assembled and directly shipped to your house at a lower price than you would have been able to buy in the store. So the Dell is one example of a company that has enhanced delivery of goods and reduced your purchasing costs if you had to go to many different stores and compare shop and look at the different computer setups and things. Anything with a delivery component where they deliver directly to your door or directly to work, or deliver in a way that reduces your costs or your time, that's enhancement. Just like Domino's Pizza, any pizza delivery, that when the first restaurants first started doing that, they gave them created value for customers that, hey, I don't no longer have to come out of my house, go to the store, get the dinner, and come back. It'll be delivered for me, which is a big convenience. Now, what is a buyer purchaser cost? Anytime that you have to spend not just money but time to buy a product, that is not that's taking away from the value. And that's one of the reasons online purchasing, especially around the holidays, is skyrocketing and went up 30% this year, is because people find a real value. I mean, I remember the days where I used to have to buy my gifts, package them, address them, bring them to the post office, and ship them off to my, many friends and relatives around the country, around the world. Today, they just log in, put their address in the gift book, uh, and then pick out your gift, attach the shipping address to it, and you're done. That's also the invention of credit cards was created a value for people to buy things on credit or pay for things. So rather than having to carry cash around with you, now does that necessarily reduce your purchasing costs? And that probably increases it, but it's an example nonetheless. Improve your product image. Okay, so let's talk about some companies that recently improved their product image. Okay, so I'm going to talk about automobiles, since that's sort of the theme of our class this semester. Um, what car company do you think has the worst reputation, worst image? What car company do you think had the worst image 5 years ago? Okay, so when I am asked these questions, I always think of Hyundai as being the company that had a horrible image. And back in the 90s, they did. They were the company that made very cheap cars that were very unreliable. And then Hyundai did something revolutionary in the industry to improve their image. They offered a 100,000 or 10-year warranty on their cars, putting their money where their mouth was, where their mouth is, per se. So this really got consumers starting to think that, you know what, maybe these cars have come up in quality. As you see here from the website, they've completely remodeled, redesigned their cars. They have, greatly enhanced their image of their cars, not just by the look of their cars, but also by the reliability. And by enhancing their image, the company became a very strong player in the U.S. auto market, really changing their prospects and their profits. And I was looking, whatever car they just showed looked pretty good. And you can see here that they're actually getting much more better resale values in their cars now, and that's the clearest sign of being a high quality vehicle. This car actually looks pretty. I like the redesign of this car. And I'm wow, $16,000. That's a lot less than I pay for my car. And we could kind of see here that they've also stepped up their advertising in a way to really convince people that their product image has changed. I'm not sure if I'm quite ready to buy a Hyundai, but I think you get my point. All right, stop that. Well, so a little video action in my lecture finally, right? Okay, so let's look at Kia. Another product that's come a long way from a car that you would never be caught dead with driving to a car that now is respectable and is a valid option. They've greatly improved their image as well. They've also had a fantastic marketing campaign. If you've seen their marketing with the hamsters on their Kia Soul, brilliant. And they've sold, quite a huge amount of those cars. I think here's the Soul here. That's the car with the hamsters drive. I have to say, I actually do like those commercials myself. I'm a little embarrassed by it, but just between you and me, it's funny. So, okay. All right. Yeah, so improving your product's image. And I can think of many products through the year that's done that through a combination of advertising. I know even if we were talking about Domino's before, and Domino's does try to improve their quality image. I mean, right now they're in their new cheesy bread with cheese and more cheese. So they redesigned the cheesy bread to enhance the image of it, I guess, enhance the value of the product. And as far as Domino's, they had a whole campaign about a year ago where they said, listen, and even with this cheesy bread, I saw a commercial where they're talking about, hey, we realized that, you were getting more bread and not a lot of cheese, and our customers complained about that. And we redesigned it to put even more cheese in it and put other flavors. And here they have spinach and feta and bacon and jalapeno. They also did this with their pizzas. About a year ago, they were running a campaign of, okay, we redesigned our pizza from the bottom up. We listened to our customers, and this is what we've done to make them better. And running campaigns where they're just coming right out and saying our quality wasn't great. We realized that. We fixed it. Give us another chance. And it's worked. Their sales have increased, and they have done very well with these redesigned promotional formats. And here again, here is an app for the iPhone where you can order your pizza from anywhere. Again, trying to create, if we get back to our other point, enhance the delivery or reducing the purchase price. But here we're enhancing the delivery. So in case you don't want to call up and be annoyed on the phone, you could just order your pizza directly from your iPhone and have it delivered. Or also from the internet as well, which I've done. I prefer. I don't really like to talk to people on the phone sometimes. Um, a lot of times the phone is busy or they put me on hold. I mean, this is just a better way. Okay, create uniqueness that drastically different in drastically different ways. So, this is more Blue Ocean. We're going to talk Blue Ocean, which is a fantastic book. Really changed my thinking on strategy and the way companies perform. But you have to generally drastically rethink the product and just come up with something better. Um, my favorite examples of this are like the Dyson vacuum cleaner. Completely redesigned the industry, got rid of bags, made a vacuum cleaner that didn't lose suction. If you look at the Wii console game system, another just incredible improvement of adding motion and playability, addition to different dimension of playability to the games that changed the industry. That had Sony and Microsoft running to the research and development departments to develop the Move for PlayStation and the Kinects for the Xbox 360. Just rethinking your product and delivering something that is different but unique in a way that customers will really seek it out and want to experience it. You know, um, okay. And there's plenty more examples of this that you hopefully during what I'm going to try to get you to do with the discussion board questions is to ask you questions and say what products do you think have uniqueness to them or significantly different. And it could be as small as the first products that decided to put the opening at the bottom. So you have now the ketchup. You remember those commercials? You're sticking the knife in the ketchup, and it's always slow to come out and frustrating, and people pounding in the back of the ketchup. And they redesigned it to say, why not put the opening at the bottom with a special, um, you know, plastic stopgap so it only comes out when you squeeze it. And they said, wow, we could do this for, when they first came out with it, it might have been shampoo or jelly. It might have actually been like grape jelly. It was a huge hit because people no longer had to struggle with getting the jelly out of the bottom of the jar or the ketchup or waiting for the shampoo to come to the bottom of the. We've all had that experience where we're trying to wash our hair and that we're waiting for the shampoo to get to the top of the bottle as we turn it upside down. So, just something as simple as that can create a huge amount of value for a customer. And the testament of it is you just look at the amount of products now that are upside down products is incredible. And I always remember my parents could never quite get the idea of what the upside down product was. They'd always be like, why did they put the ketchup label on upside down? And I always tried to put it in the refrigerator like with the top up on it. They could never understand. Hilarious. Anyway, okay, so targeting suppliers. Here's another way to kind of reduce your costs. Now, most companies have to just about all companies have to rely on suppliers to bring them the components they need to make their goods and services. So if we could get them to lower the cost that they sell to us, we'll come out ahead. So we could also try to create targeted benefits that other firms don't offer and they're not likely to offer. So I'm going to go to here. I said, out of a little bit laziness, see the value creation page on 43 and 44. I have created a PDF of this that I'm going to pull up here on 43. So, so an option to reduce costs. So if we want to reduce costs through the product market activities, some examples the book has is um, low prices to increase your scale. So hopefully do economy of market. The more you sell, the more the fixed assets are spread around, the minimal impact they have. Buying shares in existing markets to accumulate experience, or buying existing companies to kind of get their know-how. Um, Introduce new products. So if you have a shared facility, or if you want to increase the capacity utilization of your facility, such as those flex auto plants that build two different types of cars, help reduce your costs. If you can go into new geographic areas again, improve your capacity utilization, increase your size and scale, help reduce your costs. Um, if you want to, another way to kind of reduce your costs is how can you control your cost drivers, not from outside the firm like your suppliers, but internally. Um, of course, this is a big controversial, but a big theme is reallocation of production um, within existing facilities, relocation of facilities into low-cost regions, which is, I found reading an article the other day that, let's see if I could find that article to show everyone. Okay, so if we're talking about value creation here, Honda ramps up SUV output in North America. So Honda Japan will ramp up production of the sports utility vehicles in North America and reduce exports to the regions to offset the impact of a strong yen on its earnings. So here's sort of a twist. We have Japanese auto manufacturers increasing North America production to help offset the cost of the yen. So we've become the low input cost region, where typically we're the high input cost region, where people are moving production outside of the U.S. Input substitution. So, for example, figuring out a way to hire cheaper labor, or reducing labor, or finding a different product. Here, auto manufacturers like to buy what's called a subassembly. So rather than assembling the dashboard in their facility, they'll buy the dashboard completely assembled. So finding a substitute labor force in their supplier rather than them manufacturing it directly. Sort of, they do this too in the case of some products where, like IKEA is famous for this. Instead of them spending the money to assemble the furniture, they just sell you the kit and then you assemble it. So you yourself personally becomes a low-cost labor component of their company. Brilliant idea. Using lower-cost components, replacing expensive metals with stronger plastics, replacing expensive metals with cheaper metals, things of that nature. Special terms with key suppliers. Walmart is big on, making special terms with their suppliers to reduce the costs. Enhancing worker productivity through incentive programs. So if you can get your current workers to output 10% more, and creating a bonus incentive or a commission that is only really going to cost you 2%, and relative to the cost savings of them producing more, that's definitely reducing costs for the company. Outsourcing major cost centers. For years, the customer service has been outsourced, as international labor has been much cheaper to do this type of work. Reductions in the workforce, and we've seen that a lot during the recession, where basically when you cut the workforce out, the jobs just go to the existing employees who are so fearful they're going to lose their job, they're willing to work a little bit harder. Non-monetary compensation. You can compensate people in smaller ways, having a recognition, promotions without pay, additional titles to improve their overall productivity. Improve material yields. So whenever you're building something and you shoot for, you want to make 100 pieces of something, you usually buy supplies to make 105 because you realize there's going to be loss or scrap. So if we can improve our manufacturing that we don't lose as much materials or waste as much materials, that's going to improve profits. Reduce the complexity of your production operations. Uh, Reducing the number of components that go into making the product. So if you have a product that needs 5,000 components, like a car, to assemble, that's complicated. If you could use sub-assemblies or redesign components where they don't have as many moving parts or pieces, you can maybe get that down to 3,000 pieces, save money and time in assembly. I mean, it used to take auto manufacturers days to make a car. Well, now it just takes them hours based on these techniques. Changing the product design to make it easier to improve manufacturing. I remember a company that was trying to manufacture a protein shake, and it was just too thick, and the machines were breaking down or just wasn't able to deal with it. And they reformulated to make it a lot thinner, and they improved the cost and the ability to manufacture it. Um, let's see. Improvements in asset management, reducing inventories. Again, the auto industry has been, and also Dell Computers have been very big in keeping their inventories to a minimum of a day or two on hand. And how do they do this? They force their suppliers to locate close to their production plants, so their orders can practically be rolled over to their assembly plants, and the inventory is on the supplier side, not the manufacturer side. Changing your organization, enhance worker productivity, just reorganizing and making, seeing what, traditional hierarchies of organizations may not work as good. If you change the organizational structure, you spread out the responsibility to more employees and develop, depending on your business model or structure that's more efficient, you'll get better results. Now, that's more organizational behavior type of terminology, and that would be where you'd get more details on that. But these lower portions that I've been talking about, difficult for competitors to imitate what you do down here. Although it's not this upper portion, not difficult for competitors to imitate, and that's important to realize. All right, so if we go on to page 44. Okay. Okay, so here are some other ideas. Dramatically reconfigure the firm's value chain. So if you re-engineer the whole process from beginning to the end, how the product is made, you could look at, I worked for a company that did computer chips and manufactured computer chips, and they were designing them in North America, sending prototypes to Taiwan, back to North America for testing, back to Taiwan for finishing, back to North America for final quality inspection, and then out to Mexico for packaging, and then shipped around as the world as a final product. They eventually realized the amount, as the cost of energy went up, how much money they were spending shipping these chips back and forth, and they decided, instead of having these chips make 6 trips around the world, to condense it down to just 2. And drastically, in some companies I've seen a number of companies that move into the manufacturing, not just the sale and distribution of goods, to help cut out the middleman, or just any improvements they can make along the way as the product moves from raw material to in the hands of the consumer, is a way of saving money. Improving the physical, how to improve the benefits of a product. And we talked about some of this stuff before, but we're going to just reiterate it. Enhance the physical characteristics of the product. One way is to add features. I know when the iPhone first came out, I wasn't very interested until I found out about these apps, and that you could download these apps and they could do anything. That was an incredible amount of benefit to that phone, because the phone could be tailored to my specific needs. The first shampoo and conditioner in one bottle was a very enhanced benefit for people like me. I hate fumbling with, put the shampoo on, rinse it out, put the conditioner on, rinse it out. So tedious. When it was just, I think Vidal says, I'm not exactly sure the first company to do it, But it was wonderful because just one product, shampoo, conditioner, all at once. Whether or not it was the best product for my hair, I just love the time saving of it. Um, okay, improve the aesthetics of the product, like we were talking about with Tropicana or different products. Just to look and feel the product can make a big difference. More modern, more sleek, enhance the performance of the product. This is big with automobiles or any performance driven product. Being able to have the product, do more, last longer, and that's also with durability. Enhance the durability. Products that um, that's one of the big things that they've enhanced with cell phones is that they don't break as easily when you drop them. Uh, Durability with cars is a big factor. I know with toys for kids, durability is key. So if you can be known as a company who, I think Sears did a great amount of sales on their tools, giving a lifetime guarantee of durability on their tools. So it's definitely a way to enhance the benefits of a product. Um, r Reduce the defect rates, basically just saying that you make sure that the products don't, they work when the consumers get them in their hands. Um, okay. Bundling products or complementary services. Here's some other examples. Uh, let's see, giving warranties or service contracts with products. I know this is a big source of profits for all the retailers. I mean, I walk into Best Buy and I buy like a $2 item and they say, "Oh, do you want a warranty on this pack of gum?" I mean, seriously, it's getting that bad. Just, they want to sell a warranty on everything. A music CD, a $5 battery. It's just ridiculous. But they make a lot of profits from it, and customers like it. Just a lot of customers do like, especially I can see if you're buying a TV for $2,000, paying an extra $100 to get a guarantee it's going to work for 2 years is well worth it. Um, I kind of this I've kind of had this theory that I'm not going to pay for any of these enhanced warranty or service contracts, and whenever they come up for the option to buy it, I'm just going to take a mental note of the money I saved by not taking the warranty or service contract, and just kind of putting that in the account. And then it got to a point where I had thousands of dollars in this account of money I saved by not. So now I could warranty or insure myself. So if the product broke, I could take it out of the money I saved from not buying all these warranties or contracts. Uh, so that's sort of been my philosophy. And the really funny thing is that a lot of products I buy, and I've had products break, DVD players and TiVos and different things, and cameras. But if you most products come with a 2-year manufacturing guarantee from the manufacturer. So I would always, just because I know how that process works, being working for an electronics company, big electronics company that took in a lot of returns, I know it's simple. You call them up, you get an RMA number, you package it up, you mail it to them, they fix it, they return it. I had a TV in my bedroom that I had only for a year that broke, and I had a 2-year warranty, parts and labor. I sent it to the manufacturer. I was hoping they'd send me a brand new one back, but apparently they were able to fix it and send me my old TV back. But still, I didn't need to pay for a warranty on that because it comes with one. I also like shopping at Costco because Costco, for every product you buy there, they have a phenomenal return policy. Guarantee, they just recently amended it so it doesn't really quite cover TV sets or computers because people are abusing it. But, you know, trying to shop at places where they have a generous return contract. And that's one of the benefits. If you look at the enhanced benefits of shopping at Costco, okay, now, how did they get someone to pay $50 a year to be a member at Costco where all other stores are just free to shop at? Seems ridiculous. But then once you add up the benefits of the reduced prices on the products, the ridiculous return policies. I mean, I remember the most ridiculous thing. I had a vacuum cleaner that broke within a year, and I just thought it was. I didn't think that was um, a good product if it breaks in a year. So I brought it back to Costco. They gave me a full refund after using it for 9 months. I was astonished. I felt a little guilty even. But this is why I pay $50 a month to be part of Costco because of the benefits that they give me. Okay. Um, Technical advice or training, uh, customer service or post counseling services, all make the experiences enhance the benefits of a product, which makes me want to pay more for a product. I have no problem paying more for a product if I feel like I'm getting an enhanced benefit from it. Okay, so if we're talking on the sales side, the enhanced sale or delivery of goods, the firm's location. If it's convenient, that's why these red boxes, if we're looking at something that is unique, this is also unique in drastically a different way. Go to your local 7-Eleven and you can go to these red boxes, and for $1 you can rent a recent movie. I mean, now that is an enhanced service, sale, and delivery. I mean, I love this idea of the red box. It took me a while to warm up to it, but the greatest thing is I don't have to deal with anybody. Just go there, pick the movie I want, swipe my credit card, comes out in seconds, return it the next day, only $1. Phenomenal value and phenomenal um, idea. I mean, who would think that after the age of Netflix, something like this would really work? But it definitely put the last nail in the coffin for Blockbuster. The one-stop shopping. This is sort of the old dairy barn idea where you drive in, and the convenience of driving in is enhanced delivery. You don't have to get out of your car. Drive-ins in general are just enhanced delivery. That was, the stores that I remember in the fast food industry, there was McDonald's with drive-throughs at one time, McDonald's without drive-throughs, typically if you had a drive-through, you enhanced your sales by 30%. Overall sales. And now with these fast food restaurants, they just leave the drive-through open late at night, enhances their sales even more. Easy order placing, speed and timeliness of deliveries. I use this company Newegg for some Christmas shopping. I ordered it on a Tuesday. On a Wednesday, it was being delivered by UPS to my house at the standard shipping rates. Incredible. And of course, the order placing on the internet or over the phone is also very easy. Okay. Improved product image. We were talking about this before with Hyundai and maybe even Tropicana. Compelling new packaging or labeling, compelling advertising messages. It's funny with advertising, like the Kia hamsters when they dance or sing in the car, or that whatever that nonsense is. It's hilarious. It really gets you to notice the car, because you want to watch the commercial not once but many times. And now with the advent of YouTube, people actually log in. I mean, let's go see actually how many people watch this commercial for just voluntarily on YouTube. All right. Okay. So here's the commercial. Um, 11 million views, 44,000 likes, only 1,400 dislikes. This is a phenomenal commercial. 11,000 people voluntarily view it on YouTube. That's more than just about most primetime TV shows, one airing of it. So, here, of course, the car is featured. They don't talk about the components of the car or the features of the car. They just show these hamsters in relationship to it, and it's, I guess, the funness of the commercial that really gets you to notice and understand. There's a lot of cars out there you couldn't name what the vehicle is. I think everybody knows what this vehicle's name is. All right. So there's a way of, compelling advertising message. Uh, Now, you hit it right with a good advertisement, it could really change the fortunes of a company. Also, creating uniqueness in different ways. We talked about this before, and we're going to talk about this a lot more when we do the Blue Ocean book. It's just, how can you create a product that people really take notice of and say, I got to have that. That is just like the best, the best, new technology or the newest, way of doing something is so much smarter. All right. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about. I think this is the last slide. Yes, last slide. Right. This has been a long lecture. Exploiting a competitive advantage through pricing. So pricing is on. With the way the economy is, everybody's focused on pricing these days and cost of things. So so we have this sort of chart here. We have a cost advantage and benefits advantage. So we say we have a high consumer price sensitivity, meaning that the consumers are really sensitive to price changes. So, you know, um, small price cuts. Um, oh, there's an error. Oops, I'm gonna have to pause this. Okay, I'm back. I had to fix a slide there with a little typo. Okay, so small price cuts gain lots of market share. So if they're very sensitive to price, such as say gasoline, you cut your price 10, if you have 3 gas stations on the corner of one busy intersection, the guy that cuts his price, say they're all at the same price, one guy cuts the price 5 cents, he's going to get all the traffic. You know, underprice the competition basically. And if in certain items, especially consumer staples, milk, um, cigarettes, things that people buy on a routine basis. Although cigarettes have a whole, let's not even talk about them. There's a whole brand loyalty that just kind of, some people will pay any price for their cigarettes. But other things that people really will go in, and that's why supermarkets generally make out on these no frills or in-house labels. So you can offer them at a smaller price and generally take a lot of competition. Okay. All right. So in the benefits advantage, if you make a modest price hike, you're going to lose a lot of market share. So, so maintaining price, even while cutting benefits or reducing benefits, and again, if you look in the supermarket, if you look at things like, say, peanut butter, you want to maintain the price of that peanut butter. So what can you, or that yogurt? So what can you do to maintain the price? Well, what they've done is they've actually cut out the size of the amount, not the size of the product, because they've been tricky with this, but the amount of product they give you. So the packaging has been contoured so that the waistline is taken in. So there's 2 ounces less peanut butter in the jars. And I remember having an old jar in my cabinet. I bought a new jar, and I saw the redesign of the packaging. And I look at the ounces, and sure enough, they took 2.5 ounces out of it. But the dimensions of the package were pretty much the same. They've done this with cereal boxes, potato chip bags, yogurts, giving you less so they can keep the price down, but, hoping you won't notice. Okay, so what about consumers with low sensitivity to price, meaning that change in price, they don't care as much. So big price cuts may get you little gain of additional market share. In some cases, you could lose market share. People perceive a less value to your product or something, they see a price go down that much, they must have realized the product's not as good as they thought. So maintaining a price and lowering your cost drivers will generally be a better way to get higher margins. So sometimes just having that high price, people think, wow, this is the highest price in this category. This must be the premium brand, and I want the best for my family. In vitamins, in certain foods, in certain categories, people are willing to pay more to get a better product. And if the price decreases, they may not have the same perception. Now, in the benefit, a big price hike could lose some market share, but it won't be detrimental to the product. So you can charge premiums relative to competitors as long as they really see that there's a benefit to your product. And the more of a benefit to your product, the less price sensitive they will be. Netflix kind of ran up against this where they thought that they had a product where they could easily raise prices and people were low price sensitive to their subscription rates, because they felt that they got a little full of themselves and they felt they were giving customers such a great benefit by stream your TV shows and getting DVDs in the mail that they're going to increase prices by 60%. Well, guess what? Their consumers are really price conscious, and they lost almost 1 million subscribers and torpedoed their stock. So this is why managers really need to know who their customers are and what their sensitivities to the product are, to avoid the disastrous mistakes like that Netflix had. And it's probably the best recent example. In fact, we have a case on Netflix that discusses this very issue and looks at what the company had said and how what transpired here. A very fascinating case to talk about. Okay, so that's it for Chapter 2. 2-part lecture series, And I look forward to talking to you guys once again for Chapter 3 on the Kellogg series. And I hope that you're enjoying the class. And remember that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I am holding a office hours online using SB Connect if you want to talk to me directly and communicate. And please check the discussion board for questions. And I will talk to you soon.